I'm coming. I'm just going down into the studio. I am running so late today. I am so sorry. I know you guys have been waiting, but we are ready to rock in all of about 2 seconds. We are running in. This is live, people. This is the way it works. Let me just shut the door because it's panicky. I've never been this organized today. It's been crazy, but I'm almost here. And I'm almost here. Oh, wait, I forgot to put the light on. Wait, let me put the light on first. There's a lot of chaos in my house today because I have been so crazily busy, and so all of this is going to come on when you guys see the post later. You're going to see the chaos. I'm so sorry about the craziness in the back. I'm actually doing Vinted at the moment, so I'm just going through all my Vinted stuff to sell it. Okay, so are we ready? Welcome. It's Wednesday. It's 6:30. It is time for Serenity Night Live. Welcome to my show. Today, I'm your host, Shama, Life Coast. Today is going to be the day when I'm just going to be coming out with all sorts of just really weird words that don't work in the sentence. So, just bear with me because I'm really hyper today. Something amazing happened to me today. I went to my local Morrison's, and I live in a village, right? It's a very small village with just a few handful of shops. Went there and I'm thinking to myself, why are there so many people outside? I went in for a bit of milk and I came back with a photo of none other than Mr. Anthony Joshua. We've got some people coming in. Hi, Hugo Illustrations. Nice to meet you. We are going to be talking about imposter syndrome. So I'm Shama. I'm your life coach by day, self-doubt connoisseur by night. Tonight, we are tackling imposter syndrome. Yeah? Heard of it? It's a little voice in our head that tells us, what the hell are you doing here? You don't belong here. You're not going to be good enough. You're not going to be this. All the self-doubt stuff that comes up for us. So tonight, we're going to be tackling what is known as imposter syndrome. Have you ever felt like a fraud? Have you ever felt like a fraud? I will tell you why. I've just seen somebody I know. Hi. I love it. All these people are coming on. I didn't expect to have so many people coming on so quickly. But I think that could be because of Mr. Anthony Joshua, who I met in my local Morrison's while I was buying some milk. Who would have thought? Who would have known? So whenever you've achieved something like mildly impressive, do you always get that little doubt in your head going, you didn't deserve this, or you're a fraud, or what the hell are you doing here, or anything like that? Let's get into that before I spiral into sorting out my own CV and looking for another job. I'm not going to really, to be honest. It's I love my coaching. I absolutely love doing what I do, and I'm going to continue to do so. So just so that everybody knows, this is live. So if you are going to join me and you want to press request to join, you will be coming on live with me. You can either choose to have your video on or off. I'm not bothered, but you will have to speak. All right. So if you've got something to say, come and join me live. I've still got 3 more slots available if you want to join me. Otherwise, let's have some fun. So you have got our accountability challenge. Our accountability challenge allows us to invite the audience. You guys are going to tell me what you want to get up to by next Wednesday. So message me some stuff that you want to get done. I've had a lot of people asking me about holding themselves accountable to drinking water this summer. It's really hot. Make sure you're drinking water. You should be having a minimum of 2 liters per day. Even 2 of these bottles per day would be absolutely perfect. I've got my big one, which I carry around, which is about 1.8 liters, because I know I will forget to drink water. So hold yourselves accountable, people, to diet, exercise, drinking water, and no longer being an imposter. Right, body doubling challenge. I am about to go into my spotlight. So if you guys have got something to say, then I'm sure we are going to, do you know what? I've just realized something. I did sort out some combat ideas for doing, for dealing with imposter syndrome, but I forgot to print it out. So we're just going to have to wing that bit. I may just try and come off it quickly and then see if I can print it out. But I think that might look a bit unprofessional. But hey, this is live. This is me. I think we're veering towards the unprofessional anyway, so it's no big deal. So I might just go and get that printed out. So when have you ever had imposter syndrome? When has it been really, really difficult for you to stay authentic? For me, I mentioned it in my promo reel that I tend to be very inauthentic or very not real or having an imposter syndrome when I'm in a situation that I don't feel comfortable in. When I'm in a situation that I feel comfortable in, it's all good. I'm comfortable. I feel like I'm in my zone. Everything's going really well. But if I'm in somewhere where I'm not comfortable, then I am having to fake it a little bit. Fake smiles, fake know-how, faking everything, fake it till you make it, right? So I want to find out from you. We're going to do a deep dive into this a little bit and a bit of a psychological point of view. You know, I spoke to somebody, I've forgotten her name, but I will put her, well, actually, I did speak to her because I was also doing my research, but I've completely forgotten her name. It will come to me, and one day I will remember everybody's names. Today is not that day. So I have spoken to somebody, otherwise I would not know what I know. And I asked all the questions, otherwise I wouldn't know what I know. So if we're ready to do a big dive, I want to just quickly share my own experience about being imposter syndrome. So I guess my biggest one was actually when I was working in a diamond. It wasn't a diamond shop, it was a diamond business. So these people would buy and sell diamonds at wholesale, and they will do all sorts of things. I didn't feel that I quite fit in because they were very refined, they were very posh. They didn't understand my own culture in regards to, you know, being a mum or, you know, being Muslim or having to do things differently and fasting and stuff. But that aside, I felt like an imposter there because I wasn't comfortable with the way that they were selling. I'm not going to mention the company's name, but what they used to do, and this totally did not align with who I was and the integrity that I have in my own business and the way I conduct myself. So there was this company that used to buy and sell diamonds wholesale, and we used to supply to Hatton Gardens, fine jewelry shops, anybody that made jewelry, they would buy diamonds from us. We also had a bit of a side hustle going on where some of the stuff that, some of the fine jewelry that didn't get sold on eBay. And what they used to do was they wouldn't put like certified diamonds on there. They would just take a picture of the finest diamond that they had and then put it up on eBay. And then they would send more substandard. And so with the diamond connoisseurs, if they didn't see it or they didn't notice the clarity, they'd be happy. But every so often we'd get one or two people who would come in and say, oh, hi, this is not what I ordered. And so we were required to upsell. To be honest, I was not happy about it, but I still carried on working. And I felt like a complete fraud because this did not align with me. Hi, Sing Vibes. We're talking about imposter syndrome. Have you ever had imposter syndrome? Do you know what imposter syndrome is? It's basically where we achieve something or we do something or we're in a situation where we have to kind of wing it or we have to kind of figure some things out, but we're not comfortable. And there's a little voice in our head saying, you don't belong here and you're a fraud. The thing is that I put it to you now. What if I was to say to you there's no such thing as imposter syndrome and that it was all in your head? That's obvious, right? But we can't help. We can't help our little voices. We can't help how we feel. But what we can do is figure out some ways of getting through it. So we're going to talk about it from a psychological point of view. I have made my notes. I have asked my questions and we are now going to start talking about it. So, obviously, going back to that diamond job, sorry, I was slightly distracted by Sing Vibes saying he doesn't suffer from imposter syndrome. Well done you. I suffer from imposter syndrome, particularly when I'm not. Why does that, is that the thumbs up fireworks? Why do I always get fireworks coming up? Sometimes it's balloons, sometimes it's fireworks. I have no idea why that happens. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's live. Anything can happen on a live. So going back to my story about the diamond thing, when I realised that that's what they do and they send and they send substandard things and try and upsell them to get them a better diamond. I was just like, no, this doesn't align. I'm just going to leave. Thank you very much, Sing Vibes. You are saying some very beautiful things to me, and I appreciate every single one, and I acknowledge you for saying that to me. Thank you so much. Right, so we're going to start talking about the psychology of imposter syndrome. I should have worn my glasses because, quite frankly, printing this out, it looks more like I should be reading a book. I should have written it so at least I could put it there and then I could talk and read at the same time. But nope, we're going to be reading today. So I'm sorry. I am so disorganized today. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, but it's all good. We are still going to keep talking. Right, so deep dive discussion. So what is exactly imposter syndrome, clinically speaking? Because it does exist. It's just sometimes, from my point of view, I don't think it exists, and I don't think it should exist. And I think that we should just kind of work towards not having it. It was coined, the phrase was coined 1978. I was born in 1978. Great. Now I'm feeling my age. Great. Okay, so psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, I think I've got that right, originally described in high achieving women, but now recognized across all the groups. Core symptoms include chronic self-doubt, self-criticism, fear of exposure, which is quite weird actually. I've not heard of that one before. Fear of exposure as a fraud, attributing success to external factors such as luck and timing, someone else's help, that kind of thing. Difficulty in internalizing your achievements. That's very interesting. I have that one where when someone pays me a compliment, I find it really difficult to accept it. So I kind of go completely off the spectrum and say, yeah, I agree with you. I honestly don't know what else to say to you. So if someone says to me, like, you know, you've got beautiful hair, I'll be like, yes, thank you. I agree with you. It sounds so weird. It sounds so weird. But for me, I don't know what else to say. I say thank you. That's gracious. But then after that, I feel I need to say something. So I just say, I agree. Because I do. As a matter of fact, I do have nice hair. I worked hard to get it this long. So I just want to do a quick shout out to some people that have joined us. We've got Hugo Illustrations. Hi. We've got Yadu. We've got Raja. We've got Sing Vibes. Raza. Hi, Raza. We've got Sing Vibes saying some beautiful things. Thank you so much. Raza says the confidence in your speaking is so perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's taken me a long while to get to this stage. This is now, I think, my 7th episode. If you go back to my YouTube, which I keep forgetting to mention, I do have a YouTube channel at Serenity Night Live. So if you've missed out any of my old ones, please don't watch them. Absolute disaster. I think at one point I lasted all of about 15 minutes. But I digress. I've only been up to the first point and I'm already going off onto a tangent. I might make tangent one of my topics. Why do we keep going off on a tangent? Why do we have a million things to say when we've got ADHD? I've forgotten my own condition. I'm having such a laugh today. I think this is the time when, you know, when you realise that it's raining and you don't have an umbrella and you've just resigned yourself to getting wet. This is one of those moments. I'm having a few of these moments today, and I think I'm completely in awe of the fact that I've met Mr. Humble himself, and I think I'm a little bit starstruck. Even though meeting me, he should be a bit starstruck, yeah? Just saying. Okay, so what makes ADHD worse? The neuropsychology behind it. ADHD brains are wired for inconsistent performance as it stands. Because if I can't do it every time, maybe I'm not so good at it. That's not the case here though. Because consistency doesn't necessarily mean you've got to get it right every single time. Consistency could mean you do it twice, you miss one day. You do it twice, you miss one day. You do it twice. That's a pattern. Doing it one day, missing it one day, doing it one day, missing it one day. That's still a pattern. So I disagree with that. I don't think that we are inconsistent. We just do things differently. And so therefore we get things done, but just at a different rate. Be patient with us, please. Working memory deficits. I literally forget what I accomplished. That's true, because when I go back and I think back to what did I do today, probably the only thing I'm going to think about is Anthony Joshua, quite frankly. But there are some other situations where I've had clients who I ask them, how did you get on yesterday? And they'll say, I don't remember what happened yesterday. That's the truth. They honestly don't remember. And when I ask them about, what did you accomplish today? What did you not accomplish? And we do like these reflection calls on our calls. Half the time they can't remember. So I have to prompt them. And I think that's actually my way of saying to them, tell me, what have you achieved? And they can't remember. So we prompt them. Time blindness, past wins feel irrelevant now because current failures feel all-consuming. Have you noticed that you only remember the things that you've done wrong and not the things that you did right? Has that ever happened to you? Happens to me all the time. It's normal. It's natural. It's human. It doesn't matter whether you've got ADHD or not. That is what we do. We hold on to negatives because they validate our stories, however they are. They help us validate how we feel about other things and how we feel. So we'll look for negative. But what would happen if we actually looked positively for once and you started looking around you and saw positivity? What would happen then? Yeah? Just thinking about that for a second. If you were to change your mindset to a more positive mindset and your past wins did feel more relevant and your current failures were, okay, lesson learned, what then? How would that make you feel? Have a think about it. And the big one, emotional dysregulation. One minor critique feels like total invalidation. And, oh, I've got a brilliant example of this. So I don't know whether you can remember, but when I was talking about rejection sensitivity and how much I have rejection sensitivity, rejection sensitivity and emotional dysfunction, they kind of go hand in hand, because when you are feeling rejected, your emotions feel like as if the world has ended, even though, okay, let me give you an example and you'll see what I mean. So I invited a whole load of people. This story might feel familiar to you, so just bear with me for the newbies that have never heard it before. So I invited about 5 or 6 people at a restaurant that we were all familiar with, and we know historically they have really good food. On this occasion, the food was not so good and everyone complained about it. But guess who was the one that took it to heart the most? It was me. I took it to heart because I was the one that organised it. And even though the restaurant took responsibility for the food not being good, it was almost as if I had cooked it. And I was taking that criticism. And I took that rejection very personally. And it made me feel really upset. And I cried when I got home, saying that nobody's going to come out with me. Nobody's going to want to sit with me in a restaurant ever again. I'm not going to be allowed to choose. I have no good judgment. You can see where it starts spiraling. You've got no good judgment. And then the story starts going towards all the past decisions you've ever made in your life. One minor critique feels like a total invalidation. And all of a sudden you feel like you don't belong. It can happen at work as well. Have you ever felt like that, where you get one critique from your boss and all of a sudden you feel, I am not good at my job, I'm going to hand in my notice? That extreme happens. Just saying. ADHDs are often praised for potential but punished for execution. So in other words, we've got the great ideas, but because we find it really difficult to execute the actual tasks in order to do so, Can I just say, Ahmed Raza, this is a message to you. There's no point you messaging me on live when you know that I'm on live and now you're messaging me on LinkedIn. I'm not going to get your message, love, because I'm talking on this thing. So going back to what I just said, ADHDs are often praised for potential but punished for execution. We tend to procrastinate a lot on the tasks, especially if they're bigger. So breaking down the tasks might be the way to go. It creates a disconnect between how others see us and how we feel inside, because what happens with that is that even though they have just simply said to us we're doing something wrong, they may not think anything of it, but we've taken on that comment and we've taken it to heart, and then we've added more stories to it all the time to kind of say, yeah, they're right and we're wrong. Yeah. So I'm just saying, just kind of figure out your self-worth. Know what you're good at. And if you're not good at something, that's okay. You can have a can-do attitude. By all means, have a can-do attitude, because that's the whole point. Have a can-do attitude, because you don't know what you don't know until you try it, right? Okay, so if that's the case, do it. See what happens. Anyway, so something like this would lead me to mask and do a performance-based self-worth. So if I was not as good as I was yesterday, then I'm not good enough at all. That is the extreme we will go to. Has that ever happened to you? Talk to me. Let me know in the comments below if you ever felt like you were a fraud, and how did you manage to figure it out? What made you disbelieve your own limiting beliefs? What did you do? For me, I just soldier on. I tend to not listen to that, because when someone says to me, you can't do something, I just go for it. I'm just like, sod it, I'm going to do it anyway. And some people call it rebellion, some people call it, but I don't like people telling me that I can't do something, because I want to be the one to decide whether or not I can do something. And that should apply to every man, woman and child. Don't let someone tell you what you can and can't do. Figure it out for yourself. Stop being lazy. Stop letting other people define what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. All right? I'm just saying that. And that is for my teenager viewers, and that is for my young ones who are like, you know, just finishing university in their 20s and they're trying to figure things out. Do what you think is right. Take advice by all means. No one's saying that you don't take advice. Take advice. If it's solid and it's valid, take it. No one's going to say a single thing. But remember, you are the master of your own future. So every decision you make will define your future. Not define you per se, but your future. You define you by your thoughts and by your patterns, not by your actions. I may have said something a little bit controversial there, so I'm opening the floor up to argument. I'm just saying. Okay, so what else? We've got cognitive distortions that feed it. So this is that all or nothing thinking. If I'm not the best, I'm the fraud. It doesn't matter whether you've tried and tried again. If you're not good at it, you're a fraud. That is the conclusion you're going to come to. But just think about it for a second. Because if somebody's saying to you, you know, okay, you're not good at this, and your first thought is to say, I'm not good at anything, you can see where you've went from 0 to 100 within 3 seconds flat. Don't be copying my temper. My temper goes from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds flat. Don't start your overthinking in that record, yeah? That's my record. Discounting the positive. Anyone else could have done it. But you were doing it. You got the opportunity to do it. So embrace that opportunity that you had to either learn or excel. There's only going to be one of the two. There's no failure. There's no success. It's either you're going to do it and you're going to do it well, or you're going to do it and you're going to do it badly. There is a third one that you're not going to do it at all, but that doesn't even come up in this conversation, because we are doers. We hold ourselves accountable. We are productive, or at least we're trying to be productive, but that's what we are trying to do, okay? So do not ever think like that. I know I'm telling everybody what to do, but I'm a coach and that's my job. So sue me. No, don't sue me. Please don't sue me. I haven't got any money. Maybe they're just being polite. That's another story we put in our heads. They're just being polite to us. Do you feel when you're getting a compliment about someone's just being polite to you? What does that mean? What does it mean when someone is being polite to you? Why would someone bother being polite to you in this society? No one's polite to anyone in this society. So if you get a compliment, mate, hold on to it, because it's probably the truth. Because everyone else is nasty nowadays. No one is authentic. No one is being nice. You've seen the keyboard warriors. Everyone's being nasty to each other. So if you get a compliment, my friend, hold on to it. Say thank you. And you agree. That's the way to do it. Hey, fireworks again. Oh my God, fireworks twice in one go. I'm just winning this all the time. So cultural, gender, identity layers, these all play a massive part. So neurodivergence and marginalized folks often experience stereotypical threat, feeling pressure to disprove those negative assumptions. You know, I'm a girl, I can't drive, you know, a 6-foot Sprinter van. FYI, according to my brother, I can. And I've got witnesses that I have, because they saw me come out the petrol station to put petrol in the van. And so I had to go. So I've driven one of those. I've driven motorhomes, even though I've never driven a motorhome in my life. I thought, yeah, I can drive a motorhome. I drove a motorhome. I wanted to become a singer, so I became a singer. I wanted to become a dancer, so I became a dancer. My point is this. Like I said, don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do. Don't tell anybody what they can and can't do. Let them figure it out. You can guide them, you can lead them, but you can't tell them what to do. And that goes for your kids as well, by the way. To a certain extent, yes, you can, because they're young. But as they get into teenagers, and I've learnt this the hard way, my folks, guide them, love them, champion them. Just don't tell them what to do. Let them figure it out. You can say to them, maybe not be the right way to do this, maybe doing it this way. But ultimately, they're going to have to learn the hard way. And that's what shapes them. They'll have their own failures, whatever it is, or their lessons and their successes. It's all good. That's the way life goes. You come in this world for nothing, with nothing. You leave this world with nothing, and everything else in between is just a journey. That's all it is. So enjoy it. Why are you going to get stressed out over people's opinions and assumptions of you, right? What else is there? Double consciousness, viewing yourself through a lens of a biased world. I don't think I personally experienced that because I've got ADHD and I'm completely oblivious to everybody else's opinions, quite frankly, because I'm so highly opinionated myself and I'm too busy trying to force my opinions on everyone else going, no, you don't like that. No, you know, but I've learnt the hard way that this is not the way to go. So don't do it. Code switching exhaustion, adapting your identity to fit in. That is the most exhausting thing ever. Oh my God, it's so exhausting. I'll tell you why. People with ADHD, and I'm sure you guys will agree, we're very chameleon-like. There are a few out there that are chameleon-like. No matter which environment they're put into, they can adapt and they make it work for themselves. Then we question the authenticity of ourselves because of the fact that we can adapt in so many different scenarios. So we end up thinking to ourselves, am I real? Because I don't know which group I actually fit in. People, who told you had to fit in a group in the first place? Who said that there's a group that you've got to fit in? I don't fit into this group. I don't fit into that group. So what? You are yourself. You don't need a group. Am I right? Do you need a group? What kind of groups do you need? Yes, we are social creatures. I understand that. But even within the social creature structure, you can still allow yourself to be yourself without any kind of judgment or any kind of fear. I just want you to think about that for a second. Adapting your identity to fit in is all very well, providing you understand that you are just doing it to fit in and that you can be authentic whilst trying to fit in at the same time. You don't have to you don't have to say, oh, I'm being an imposter. No, you're not. Like I said, there's no such thing as an imposter. You come into an environment where you can fit in. I would call that almost a superpower, and I don't normally like calling ADHD superpowers because all the negative stuff, all the negative connotation just annoys me so much. Then people say, oh, you've got a superpower. No, I don't have a bloody superpower. I've got time blindness, emotional dysfunction, and rejective sensitivity. Which of these three seem like superpowers to you? I do not laser things out of my eyes, although that would be useful. I would love to fly. That would be useful. What else would I like to have? That's interesting. All right, I'm digressing again. All right, listen, stop it. Engage me. Otherwise, I'm going to start going off onto all these tangents now. For many ADHD women and girls, socializing to downplay our strengths, apologize for our assertiveness, and hide our struggles is something that most inattentive ADHD women will do. Did you know that? I did it. I did it throughout my whole marriage. Trying to downplay my strengths so that, you know, my husband wouldn't feel that I'm trying to overshadow him or trying to go, what was I thinking? I've been married for 20 years. After about 10 years, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I just need to be myself. And that's when all the problems started. I'm joking. It wasn't that bad. So we have been conditioned to downplay. My mum used to condition me all the time. She used to nudge me all the time saying that, calm down, or you're too much, or calm down, or keep quiet, or you get those little nudges or the little pinches or things like that just tell me to calm down. And so I used to downplay all my strengths and everything that I was. And if I was assertive or I was bossy, I would apologize for that. But I'm not going to apologize for my bossiness anymore. I am who I am. Accept me, or... Okay? It creates the perfect storm for overperforming, undersharing, and burning out, because we are trying to do so much. I'm trying to be the perfect mother, the perfect wife, the perfect coach, the perfect... What else have I got? Oh, hang on. Wife, mother, daughter, sister, coach, choreographer. What else have I got as roles? I've got other things as well. Oh, I've got a thumbs up. Hello. So I don't know. All these different roles that I've got, I'm having to switch, and I'm having to fit in, and I'm having to do all of these things. That's okay. It's okay to do that. But not being able to talk to somebody about it, and not being able to let it out and internalizing it, that's where the burnout happens. So what will we do? Best thing to do? Don't overperform. Do what you think is necessary, whatever that looks like for you. Undersharing, talk to people. Have yourself a nice small community of people that you can talk to. My inner circle has about 6 people in them. And these are people that I can bounce off. I can be real. I don't have imposter syndrome with any of these people, because I love them and they love me back and they accept me for who I am, and that's okay. So for me, I have that. I can share all my woes, all the things that are annoying me, and so that prevents the burnout. I am going to get a burnout though. I have to say I am going to get a burnout really, really soon, because I have been working solidly since last Monday, and this weekend was particularly heavy for me, and I'm working now through Friday. I've got 2 more days, otherwise I'm going to experience a serious burnout. Already I've got one big line here that is going to be, it's going to get on my nerves, that is now. That's all I'm going to be able to see is a line. I might as well just draw with a ruler. Just measure it with a ruler. Anyway, see what it is. It is what it is. And plus I'm only, 3 years away from 50 this year? You know? What you going to do? I laugh, I cry, I get stressed out. I've got lines to show that I lived, you know. I haven't got a blank canvas. What do you want me to do? If it went wrong, it's my fault. If it went right, someone else helped. That's a typical one. Like I said, ADHD intensifies distortions due to high level of emotional sensitivity, rejection sensitivity, dysphoria, and the like. So why do overachievers feel like underachievers? Does anybody know? Raise your hand if you know, and I'll tell you the answer. Is it overcompensation for past failures? Is it that you can't trust praise because it doesn't match your internal chaos? Is it that you avoid new challenges because you don't feel you're 100% ready? And so that stagnation reinforces more fraudulent feelings for yourself. Which one is the one that you apply yourself to? If you're an overachiever, you've always been an overachiever, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're overcompensating for your past failures. I find it difficult to trust praise because I used to get criticized a lot because of the ADHD, because my mum, God bless her, she's passed away now, so she can't defend herself, so I can say it all. I'm joking. Do you know what? I am coming with verbal diarrhea today. I'm going to get into so much trouble. Everyone's going to call me saying, what the hell were you on today? I'm not on anything. I've just had water. I am hungry though, so that's quite distracting. So the psychological loop starts happening for us. So you've got your imposter feelings, and then you overwork, and then you get that temporary relief. Then you get a new task, and then the doubt starts again, and it keeps going round and round and round and round. And it's not a good look. It's called a vicious circle. Now, how can we stop that loop? Imposter feelings, honestly, you can't stop them. They're always going to be in your head. But what if you were to decide that despite the imposter feelings, you were to define what was going to be enough for you for that day so that you're not overworking? What would allow you to give yourself space to take on a new task so that when you're working on the old task and a new task comes along, you're not like, oh, I can't do it. You can easily say, yeah, I'm just in the middle of something. I'm going to deal with this in a minute. That's okay. You can do that. You don't have to drop everything. Go ahead and do that. Then drop that and go back into that. It's okay to do that. And I'm sure your people will understand you if you decide that you just want to take a time out and finish the job before you go on to theirs. And you say, I hear what you're saying. I can see you're there. And I'm going to come to you in a second. Yeah? That kind of thing. I do that with my clients all the time, by the way. That's what I get them to do. Get them to slow down and just say, hey, hang on a minute. I know you're going to inundate me with so much work. Let me just get this done first, and then I'll come and see you. It's easy. You won't feel like a fraud. And what you're also doing is sharing that you're busy doing a job. You're not undersharing, you're oversharing. I love oversharing. I tell everybody my business. I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. I've just got nothing to hide. That's why I do it. How to interrupt the imposter cycle. Oh my goodness, people. I think that the best way to do it would be to actually just name it and label it. Yeah, it's imposter syndrome. I'll be honest with you, even when I come on this live, I feel like a complete imposter because I've started this off and I know that, that I'm going to get the people are going to come if I continue to stay in this one place every week and I show up every week, and I'm sure people will come. I get a lot of good feedback from this, so I'm really, really happy to say it. But every so often I do feel like an imposter because I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what if I really don't have ADHD? That's happened because I think to myself, it doesn't make sense. Why is it that nobody realized I had ADHD up until this point? And am I so good as an empath that I can actually mold myself in such a way that I can make people believe that I've got ADHD? That's a possibility that came up for me when I first got diagnosed, because I even said to the therapist, are you sure? Because I'm very good at acting. I'm not good at acting at all. But for that moment, I thought, maybe I am a fraud. Maybe I'm just kind of jumping on the bandwagon because everyone's talking about ADHD and I want to make some money, so I'm talking about ADHD as well. But then when I look back on my videos, I'm like, yeah, she's most definitely got it. There is just no doubt about it, So let's reframe that self-talk. Just say, yeah, if I feel like a fraud about something, it's because it shows that I care. Not that I'm incapable. It's because I care that I want to get it right. Not because I can't do it at all. Think about it. I feel like a fraud becomes this feeling shows that I care. Not that I'm incapable. Track your evidence. This is really, really important, people, especially those with ADHD and those who have got forgetfulness. Keep a wins journal or take a picture of your win. It's so important. Our brains forget. We can't help it. If I asked one of my clients yesterday, oh, what was your wins? I'll be like, oh, I can't remember what I did yesterday. That happens. So log it. Log all your wins. Keep a journal, keep a photo album, do whatever it is. Your brain may forget, but these photos will never forget, and there will be constant reminder of what you have achieved. I get all my clients to go onto Trello. So when they can see all the things that they've done, because they move all the cards across. So you've got your to-dos, and then you've got your I need to do today, and then done. That's it. Keep it simple. Some people have week ones as well, but that's okay. The art of moving the cards across the done pile is so rewarding. It's quite addictive, and you end up getting more and more productive about it. And also, when you feel like a fraud again, you need to go back to your Trello and have a look at your done pile and keep scrolling and see all those things that you've done. It is so easy for us to think about, we don't do enough of this, or we're not good at this, or we don't do this, or, you know, it's so easy for us to think like that. But what if you were for just 1 minute to say, you know what, I'm going to keep a wins journal, and I'm going to keep a log of all my wins. So when I feel like this ever again, all I have to do is just look back and see everything that I've achieved. How wonderful would that be for us? We've got opportunity for us to see things for what they are rather than what we've narrated in our head. Yeah? So tracking an evidence and having an evidence journal would really, really help us understand our wins. Self-compassion. We don't do enough of that. We are compassionate with everybody around us, but we're not compassionate with ourselves. Why? Why are we not compassionate with ourselves? If we don't look after ourselves, how on earth are we going to look after everybody else? And part of that is self-compassion. Confidence is very, very unstable. So having compassion for oneself allows that space for you to say it's okay to make mistakes, or it's okay not to know something, or it's okay. That's got nothing to do with confidence. Actually going up to somebody and admitting that you've got a mistake, that's confidence. Yeah? Saying to somebody, I don't know what I don't know, but here I am to find out, that's confidence. Self-compassion just helps you show up despite the doubt. So think about, where is the confidence in that? It's just showing up, right? Community reflection. Why don't you share your story like I do? Tell me. Hear the Me Toos. See what they're saying. Rewires the isolation into belonging, and it makes you feel, actually, you know what? It is okay because everyone feels that way as well. When we go into our first training sessions, I go into I'm always on the lookout for training. I'm always on the lookout for self-development, always looking to level up my coaching and get better. And there's one time I went into a coaching session and it was just all about just showing up. That's it. I showed up and I learned a lot, but I showed up. Going into the community means that when you are coaching, everybody is coming in with the same sort of hang-ups as you. So when you start hearing their hang-ups and you're relating to their hang-ups, where's the imposter syndrome? Ergo, they're all imposters, am I right? Hype file. This goes back to what I said about tracking evidence. Save your compliments and achievements and screenshots. We need that visible reminder of what we have achieved. That's why I keep all my videos and I keep everything and I keep posting, because I want everyone to celebrate every single win I make today. Every single post that reflects how I feel is a win for me. And you guys interacting with me is an absolute win as well. Although I have to say, I think there's more listening than talking going on because nobody's saying anything. Have you guys never experienced imposter syndrome? Is that just me? Are you guys lying? Are you guys being imposters? I'm just saying. Talk to me. Tell me what you think. So save these compliments and achievements and screenshots. And ADHDers, we need visible reminders. We need compliments. Sometimes we need people to tell us that we're doing a good job. But if we need people to tell us that we're doing a good job, why don't we tell ourselves as well, so we get a double whammy, right? We need to be greedy. I want to be telling myself that I'm great and I'm wonderful at this coaching, because I'll actually start to believe it, because I know I am. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to find my mojo. If you were in a place that you're unhappy, think about what it is that's making you unhappy about it. Do you feel like you don't know what you're doing, so there you go, you feel like an imposter? Then why would you not go and get trained up in what you want to do? Or speak to the boss and say, hey, I need some support. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they're there for. They're there to give you a pay rise, and they're there to support you, and they're there to monitor your quality of work. That's it. They're not here to give opinions about who you are. They're not there for that. Yeah? So, what did you think, guys? I mean, this is Imposter Syndrome 101. I'm sure that there's a lot more to talk about in terms of this particular topic. But that was all my research I had. And I just wanted to get it up to about an hour or so, and at least have enough info that I could actually talk about. So I did quite a deep dive on that. But overall, my thoughts are this. I still feel that there is no such thing as imposter syndrome. There is a place for everybody, wherever you might be. And if you're not happy where you are, don't say that you're a fraud, because you're not a fraud. You're just not happy where you are, and that's okay. So what changes will you make today? What kind of things are you going to do today that are going to help with your imposter syndrome? I know I'm going to get comments a lot later because you guys just listen and take it all in, and then I always get the comments later. So I'll wait patiently, and and maybe I won't get any comments at all. I'm okay with that as well. This is your show. It's my show, but it's for you. You get to decide. Tell me what you want to talk about. Go and check out YouTube and go and see the other disastrous episodes that I've been doing. Imposter. Joking. I love what I do. I'm learning every single time. I feel like I'm getting more and more confident, and my jokes are getting worse, but that's okay. We'll deal with that. So that was the end of my deep dive discussion of imposter syndrome and ADHD and the psychological point of view, and also just some little hints and tips as to how we can combat what would be an imposter syndrome. What do you do to combat your own imposter syndrome? Because I'll be guaranteed, even though it doesn't exist, everybody's got a voice. Everyone's got, and I'm going to start talking my coaching speak now. Everyone's got something in their head that keeps churning out these little stories about themselves. And everything that you do to validate those stories is very automatic. So think about it and just break out of that box and think about, actually, you know what? I am an imposter, but guess what? I'm going to do a really good job. I'm going to make loads of money, and then I'm going to go off and do whatever I really want to do. Maybe that's just a means to an end for you. I'm okay with that as well. Just think about it. So what did you get done during the body doubling challenge, people? What did you get done? Did you get some washing up done? Did you cook your food? I've got a nice Lebanese mansaf being cooked on a low heat at the moment. So I'm going to go and have that once this is finished. Did any of this resonate with you guys? Does anyone have, are you impostering yourself this week? Get in touch with me. Let's talk about it. Let's get back a little bit of your confidence and find out a little bit more about why you are doing what you're doing. Shout out to anybody who commented. Thank you so much for taking part in this. I lasted 40 minutes. I'm really pleased about that. Is it 40 minutes? No, I've lasted 50 minutes. We've only got 10 minutes left of the show. So I'm going to send it over to you guys. If you've got any comments, now's the time to say it, because I'm going to continue talking, because that's what I do. So next time, when your brain tells you that you do not belong here, tell it, neither does imposter syndrome. But here we are. You've earned your seat. Even if you built the chair from scratch yourself with the instructions you could barely read, you go and celebrate your magnificent yet messy wins. Till next week. Thank you for the hearts, people. Thank you for the love. Thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate all of your input. I really appreciate you guys listening. Please feel free to message me, comment, tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like. Everything that you give me, I take on board. I'm through with criticisms. I don't care about criticisms. You guys can say whatever you want. I don't really care anymore, because I know who I am and I know what I'm doing, and I'm the one who's here telling you guys about ADHD. You're not paying my bills, so you don't have an opinion in my life. But hey, feel free to be keyboard warriors if you want to. You got anything nice to say, please feel free to tell me. I would love to hear some great comments, because I always hold on to the negatives. ADHD. Go and celebrate your messy and magnificent wins, and come back and tell me about it next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about ADHD and marriage. You'll see some promos going around. I've got this most wonderful lady that I've met, and she is so brilliant in what she does. I'm hoping that she can help us uncover the myths of being married while you've got ADHD, and we're trying to uncover all the relationships behind it and all the misunderstandings that we get on a regular basis, because we see rejection sensitivity as a huge thing, the emotional dysfunction that we struggle with, and the partner's misunderstanding of what ADHD does to us. All of these things are important. We're going to be talking about it next week, hopefully, inshallah. So till next week, take care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me.